I'm not exactly sure what this thing is. I'm assuming it must mean some sort of alignment. And I guess the only option I have is rest. Hunger lies at the heart of a vampire's existence. To ignore it is to tempt the beast to take over your actions in its desire to feed. To overindulge in feeding may threaten the masquerade, as well as staining what humanity you have left. In Coteries of New York, having high hunger is indicated by a progressively bigger bloody frame around the screen, like the one you see now. Oh, I did not notice that. As your hunger grows, so does this indicator. Your hunger may increase when you call upon your vampiric powers, or when you need to mend your wounds after a fight. When your hunger reaches the maximum amount, you will receive the warning. After you complete a piece of the story, ignore it at your own peril. Some choices may only become visible if your hunger is high enough. Similarly, a high hunger may block off some choices, as you will be able to see after pressing continue. Huh, I see. Good thing is, I like it when it tells you about that, because I know a couple of games do it when they give you multiple choice option, but they don't actually tell you if you have some kind of option hidden. I hate when that happens. To decrease hunger, you will need to feed. Whenever you see a feeding opportunity, you can take the risk to hunt and slake your hunger. I see. You'll need to keep your hunger at bay if you are to uphold the masquerade and survive the nights that await you. I see. So this is actually a time of day. I see. You open your eyes. The bed isn't warm. The room is filled with artificial light from the ceiling. The old metal door is closed. Normally you'd stretch for a bit. On some mornings you'd probably throw the quilt over yourself and snooze a moment longer. But that was before. The way you woke up now, you are fully conscious. No grogginess, nothing weighing you down, just a nagging need in the back of your head. Hunger. Not as severe as the last time, but unmistakably there. You get up and open the door to the main room. A digital clock on the TV shows you the time, 9:04 p.m. You walk over to the blinds and retract them cautiously. The only light coming in is the NYC artificial nighttime luminescence. So that's what your waking hours are going to be like now. You miss the sunlight already. You're seriously considering just walking out of your apartment and figuring this all out by yourself, but then you come back to the memory of Kajir's exotic sword being raised in the gallery. Maybe sticking around isn't that bad of an idea after all. You keep jumping channels for around half an hour and then switch to streaming services, almost as if the universe had a sense of irony. You catch True Blood in the flood of recommendations. The doorbell rings. It's Sophie. Good evening, Joe. Slept well? Like a baby? Like a dead man. It's not exactly sleep, right? I was always curious about that. Do you actually sleep? It's not really like normal sleep, is it? I suppose it isn't. Some say it's more like being dead, but we wouldn't know, would we? It's no reflecting on us. It's no use reflecting on it anyway. Except that it is who you are now. You made the right choice yesterday. I can teach you many things about yourself, your blood, its desires and its power. We will begin tonight. So, did I really have a choice? Now it makes me wonder. You are hungry, yes? I'm sure you are. Our kind always is. There's only one remedy, the blood. The drinks we had yesterday at Elysium are not the usual way you slake your thirst. So tonight I will assist you in your first foray into hunting. You need to learn to sense the kind of blood you desire, to understand how you can use the kind's vulnerabilities to your advantage. I'm ready to learn. No more freebies. Predator and prey, huh? Grim. No more freebies? What, no more drinks in the house? An official meeting in Elysium does not happen every night. Besides, I think you'll find there's a unique thrill to hunting for fresh, hot blood, what is absent when drinking it from a glass. You'll find that drinking moderate amount of it regularly will keep the hunger and the whispers of beasts away. You might think yourself monstrous, but there is balance to be found here. The kiss gives the kind pleasure. You might remember this from your own embrace. Some can even become addicted to the sensation. But if you do it right, they tend to misremember your feeding. I see. I was always confused about that in Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines, when you just beat people and they were like, oh, that's so good. I can't wait till you do this to me again. That was very weird. After all, vampires do not exist. We're myths, fairy tales, and pop culture mainstays. Correct. She gives you a sly no and smile. This is why masquerade is so important, even more crucial when you feed. Or you would be unseen. How do you cover your tracks? Do you select a victim? Okay, that one doesn't matter. How do you cover your tracks? That's probably very important. How do you avoid being seen? Well, that one is easy enough to find out. Let's go with tracks. But people leaves marks, right? And the victims remember your face. You shouldn't concern yourselves with leaving marks. These are easy to conceal. You just need to bite carefully when liquid punch is closed. That's all there is to it. Huh. As for being remembered, like I mentioned, the case is an ecstatic experience, so Kine can barely recall the details. And even when they do, this city is enormous. You can spend days on the streets and not see the same face twice. Use that to your advantage. Feeding from the same area repeatedly can be dangerous, but by branching out you risk the ire of your other kindred, on whose domains you trespass. Lucky for you, NYC is more forgiving in this regard. New York is in somewhat of a unique position. Many of its neighborhoods remain contested or unclaimed. The reason for this is a lesson for another time, but keep a following in mind. Take opportunities to feed when they present themselves these upcoming nights. As long as you hunt cautiously and respect the masquerade at all times, you should be fine. To wit, I want you to join me for a trip tonight. Come downstairs, Gregory is waiting for us. The busy street fills the air with traffic noise, pedestrian chatter, and a mix of smells that disorient you momentarily. These warm bodies contain what you want, what you need. You catch yourself. Did you really just think of these people as mere sources of blood? It takes a nudge from Sophie to break your train of thought. Her driver opens the door for her, and then tips his hat to you, gesturing to the back of the car. The car casually joins in the somewhat thinned New York traffic. It's still busy in a way only one of the biggest cities in the world can be, but compared to the daytime commute, it's a pleasant drive. You barely have the time to gather your thoughts and formulate new questions before the car comes to a stop. You're among the tall skyscrapers that make up Manhattan's iconic skyline. Come, Joe. Park the car, Gregory, will you? The driver just nods and Sophie gets out. You join her, and the two of you walk through the glass doors together and take the elevator up. You just notice the empty stage with instruments of a string quartet still in the back, and take a few dozen chairs in front of it. The concert seemingly concluded, the patrons, all smartly dressed and posh, have spread out all over the hall. Sophie strides confidently inside, produces an invitation from her purse, which she flashes in front of a security guard. You follow close, and are let through without issue. Let's start easy. A social setting like this one will usually prove quite challenging to an inexperienced kindred, but consider this evening a small gift from your patron. I'm hoping to procure you a willing vessel. Just remember what I told you about taking small sips. This one I have a soft spot her. Don't damage her. Now, let's see here. There he is. She notices somebody in the crowd, flashes a heart-melting smile, and suddenly even you feel drawn to her. You haven't thought about it before, but it's made clear before you in this moment. Sophie's beautiful. Just looking at her is a privilege. Just being with her makes you feel elated. Everybody in the crowd, but especially the man who's almost tripping over himself to reach her, clearly agrees. Edgar, I'm so happy to see you. How's your daughter? Is she with you? Oh, there she is. Julie, my girl, come over here, please. There's somebody I'd like you to meet. Oh, God. The young woman who walks across the hall can be more than 19 years old. It's clear from her mismatched earrings and the partially faded purple hairdo, but she doesn't fit this crowd. Julie, this is Joe. I think the two of you should get acquainted. While I talk business with your dad. Hopefully boring stuff, I assure you. I'm positive you'll like each other. The girl gives you a shy smile, nods toward the balcony stairs. You follow, somewhat unsure of what it is exactly Sophie expects you to do. You reach a secluded space from which the entire lobby is visible. All eyes are on Sophie. You listen intently, but laugh when she does. Julie saves you the trouble of figuring out the next step. If you're with Sophie, then I guess you're, you know. She puts her wrist to her lips and gives herself a theatrical nip, and looks to you embarrassed, but also hopeful. Yeah, I do. I know what you're talking about. What, you're into that sort of thing? Well, you're into that sort of thing? She blushes, looks down to the floor, nods. Could you, if you'd like, Miss Langley tells me I... She swallows hard, avoids your eyes. But I taste nice. This is extremely awkward. Also, can I just wish I could zoom in on these pictures. They really look very, very good. I can't stop praising them. But yeah, I'm just curious about what that tattoo is. It kinda looks like a cat in a spacesuit. In any case, let's drink from her. I think it would be stupid not to take a free drink when I can. You take her forearm in your hands. A quick look around confirms nobody is watching, and no security cameras cover this area. You bite down, gently. It's surreal. She's just giving you her blood of her own volition. How is this possible? What about the masquerade? You need to ask Sophie. Your thoughts disappear amid the bliss. It's just a taste. Sweet, fresh, sanguine. You drink, and drink, and drink. No, stop, stop, stop! You turn away from a girl harder than you wanted. Still, the bite leaves just tiny punctures, almost as if by instinct you lick them clean, and the two holes become concealed, just like that. Julie is now leaning on the wall, pale, wobbling on her feet, but happy. She lets out a dreamy sigh, opens her eyes. A few tears fall onto her shirt, tears of joy. Thank you. Thank you. Please, can you walk me downstairs? Please? My dad, he doesn't know. Thinks it's a condition. Miss Langley told him so. She leans on you and requests you walk her over to a bench. She takes a seat and smiles at you. The crowd around Sophie disperses slowly. Look at her now, only some residual awe hangs in the air. Yeah, she's pretty, maybe even beautiful, sure, but not your type. What came over you before? Mind control! You walk over to her. Edgar dear, it was splendid talking to you, but we need to get going. Give Julie my best wishes. Come with, Joe. Gregory's waiting for you out front. It's only in the car that Sophie addresses you. I can tell from your look that you took the opportunity. Good for you. That girl's exquisite, don't you think? You wouldn't tell her by her demeanor, but she has so much passion. It brings out a unique bouquet in her blood. That's very strange. I did not know that sort of thing influences the taste. Her blood was delicious. She knows who we are. I feel like I took advantage of her. Well, that's what we do. She knows who we are? I think she knows who we are. That's not normal, right? It's not unusual. That much is true. But don't worry. She will do anything I tell her to. But won't say anything to anyone what I haven't put in her pretty head first. Time for the next stop. Training wheels off this time, Gregory. Flushing Meadows, please. Meadows. The driver takes the car over to Williamsburg Bridge. You settle your thoughts. What did you do to the people back there? What's this about training wheels? Why Flushing Meadows? Well, mind control, training wheels. She might tell me more about this, and I might be able to do this myself. I think knowing more about this sort of thing is good. But yeah, I know nothing about the geography of New York, so Flushing Meadows would not tell me anything. These people back at the hall, they were all entranced. Even I was under your spell. What was that? She smiles with satisfaction. Battle check? Just the blood doing my bidding. We all have our talents. Some of them come from legacy we inherit from our sire. Others can be learned with experience. I can sway people or make them fear me. I see more of the world and in greater detail than some kindred. I can feel my body to move with unparalleled precision and grace, and more. All of these skills make me who I am. They also help me hunt. What are my powers? Okay, so what are my talents? Time will tell. You need to discover them yourself. When we arrive, experiment. Give different things a try. Follow your instinct and intuition. It will guide the blood. Always keep the masquerade in mind, however. It is all fine if you can disappear in plain sight or command animals with your mind, but save those of our talents for the right place and time. It only takes you half an hour to reach a park at this time of night. Okay, I just want to take a look. God damn, it's gorgeous! Holy crap! Look at the light! Look at the light there! It's incredible. This game is so good looking. It's crazy. Both you and Sophie will leave the car, with Gregory left behind again to find a parking spot and keep an eye on the car. Sophie seems deep in thought. She takes in the surroundings with a dreamy gaze. The sky is surprisingly clear tonight, the stars just barely visible in the light-polluted aura of the city. I feel like having a snack myself. I'll be by the fountain. Go, look for somebody to your liking. See what effects you can achieve with your blood. But only pick one victim. Just one. Then come back. Seeing how she seems not altogether right now, you decide to leave Sophie to her own devices and seek out your prey. From here it looks like you have a few choices. Just taking a stroll around the park and finding an isolated jogger or someone like them could work, but focusing on one area might work better. The New York State Pavilion might work as a secluded spot. There's a skate park nearby. In worst case scenario, there's bound to be some unfortunate winner around. You mean a bum? Or maybe tennis courts nearby. There's a light coming from there, so somebody might still be playing a late night match. They won't be alone, but they might be tired and let their guard down. As these scenarios play out in your mind, you realize you're planning how to assault a stranger in the middle of the night. It's a weird way to be, but with the now familiar hunger prompts you to act. Search for victim around the park, hunt near a decrepit pavilion, whatever. Look for prey to tennis court, take a walk but don't feed. Well, I think I like the tennis court the most. And victim around the park, I feel like I might fail to find anybody. And this is a bit too open. So I think I'll go with tennis court. You said the tennis courts are as good a place as any, and make your way to the bright glow of lamps illuminating the area. As you guessed, a pair of players, two men, fit but older, maybe pushing 60, are finishing up a match. They are the only ones here. It's time to make a move. Barge into the showers. Presence lure a player away. Huh. Can I do that? Bruja are not known for that. That's other vampires. I feel like barging into the showers would be better. Although, an old man taking a shower and I just walk in and bite him? Kinky. You wait for the right moment to strike. The two men grab their fangs and hit the showers. You sneak behind them. As they each take a separate cabin, you quickly open one of them and lunge blindly. White-haired, bearded man doesn't even have a chance to react as your fangs sink into him. The scalding hot water keeps flowing onto both of you, but you're preoccupied with his hot blood. It flows fast and feels energizing to you. You'd never expect an invigorating taste like this from a guy who is at least your father's age. You get the feeling that this tennis buddy will soon realize something is wrong, so you get out of there fast, letting the naked man fall to the floor of the shower cabin. Soaked but sated, you emerge from the showers and leave the courts. As you're about to walk back to Sophie, a figure emerges from the shadows and stops you in your track. A hooded man is looking menacingly at you. I don't see a hood, if I'm perfectly honest. Okay, hold up. What would I do for him?
What do you think you're doing? Barging into my turf like this, Lick?
Lick is slur Sabat uses. This might end badly, so I think been to trespass. I'm gone. Piss off or else. Lick, what kind of slur is that? Well, I think my answer would be this, but if I were to stick with Bruja, piss off or else might be a good option. However, that would mean I'm gonna ignore Sophie's advice. Let's go with this. What did you call me? A lick? What is that supposed to mean?
Don't be cute with me. I know what you are. Shove that masquerade bullshit up your ass. Better tell me who you are. Who you're with before my posse shows up and we beat it out of you.
I'm here with Sophie Langley of Camarilla. Big talk coming from a chump. I'm with a Camarilla. He does anything but chill out. He immediately tenses up, gives you an extremely nasty look, and bares his fangs. So it is Sabat.
You with every tower cunts, huh? Well. Tonight's my lucky night. I'ma fuck you up and bring you to Callahan. He'll have some fun breaking your shins, and maybe by the end of it, I'll get to have a nice long sip. I wonder what you taste like, Lick.
He does his best impression of Hannibal Lecter's And a nice cat, stick. But he's not as intimidating as he thinks. So to run back to Sophie fast. Okay, that is something Bruja could do. I'm just thinking, as a new vampire, I doubt I can put up much of a challenge to a guy who has his own turf. Also, he mentioned something about the posse, so if I were to think about this, attacking him seems like a bad option. Calling for help would be dumb. So let's go with that. You take off, fast, faster than you've ever run. The hoodlum has trouble keeping up, but howls behind you like an animal and gives chase anyway. As you reach the sphere again, you slow down, noticing two people near the sculpture, a man and a woman, tangled in a passionate embrace. No, not exactly. It's Sophie, feeding. But this whole scene is set up to look like a couple getting intimate in public. She pulls it off like she's done it 100 times before. It occurs to you what she probably has. The man is unsure on his feet as she lets go of him and leads him toward a nearby bench. Noticing you, she whispers something into his ear and leaves him. Her driver appears from behind a tree. Well, Joe, how did it go? You're about to answer when the same figure as before emerges from one of the alleys. He looks at the three of you, and the predatory smile creeps onto his lips.
You thought you could run away from me, Lick? Think you'll be safe with your friends? Well, I have friends too.
He takes a motion to shout, but the two things happen almost at the same time. First, that feeling of warmth and beauty emanating from Sophie flares up again, entrancing both you and the hooded thug. His shout comes out as a weak, confused squeak. Second, Gregory produces a wooden stake from a holster under his jacket and slams it into the thug's chest. Just like that, in a few seconds, the Portian vampire is down on the ground, paralyzed. I see you've made a friend, Joe. Curious choice of a company, I would say. Who is he? He knew I was a vampire. He said he was his turf. He mentioned that Callahan. He said something about presenting me to somebody named Callahan. Ever heard of him? She looks shocked for a split second, then recovers her regular countenance. Yes, I have. We schooled him as Anarch then. Curious. Corner Park has not been claimed by any kindred last I checked. Huh. Anarch. Not so bad. Shouldn't I hang out with Anarchs, actually? I mean, Bruja. Let's go to the car. We'll put him in the trunk and present him to Kadir tomorrow night. I'm sure he'll be delighted to make this unbound's acquaintance. Gregory carries the staked vampire and dumps him in the car's trunk, like a mannequin. The sight gives you a sudden urge to touch your own chest, as you remember being treated the same by Kadir. The gaping wound that was still there just last night is now almost gone. Just a tender scar tissue like spot marks, what was a hole in your sternum. It's still as strange a realization as last time. It's almost surprising when you can get away with just casually throwing a stiff into your car and driving away, but when you remember what Sophie has been doing this for far longer than you have. Still, when again thought what anything you did tonight could have been recorded on a CCTV camera or picked up by a rando with a half-decent smartphone and streamed online, fills you with dread. Hunting is using your abilities as a dangerous business. It's clear what this whole being a vampire thing has about as many caveats as it has perks. You're taken out of your headspace by Sophie's voice. I will pick you up tomorrow night, same as tonight. I have some business to attend to at Elysium, and I expect you to accompany me. Plus, our friend in the back needs to be properly introduced to Kadir and the Prince. I'm sure he'll have some interesting things to say to the court. Her voice is cold, cruel, and nothing like the enchanting personality she showed at the gallery earlier tonight. Sophie is clearly a woman of many faces. What's going to happen to him? Good riddance, the guy's an asshole. I'd do the same thing as his place. Good riddance, the guy is an asshole. Oh yeah, I can imagine he's going to enjoy meeting Kadir. I hope he gives him a good grinning. Guy's an asshole. Oh, Kadir will enjoy it too, I'm sure. She pauses, seemingly lost in thought for a while. You haven't told me how your hunting went. Getting the hang of it I would hope. It'll take some getting used to. I'll need some time to get used to this, it doesn't come naturally. It will, with time. You need to think about it less. Hunting is one scenario in which you'll do well to trust your instincts, in moderation, of course. She seems distracted, not all there. Her thoughts drift and the car remains silent until you reach your apartment. We will pick pick you up tomorrow evening. Good night." Just like that, without any further courtesy, Sophie leaves, driven to her apartment by Gregory, with her body in the trunk, right in the middle of Manhattan. Did you cross paths with a situation like this in the past, unknowingly? What other secrets did you pass on the streets without knowing their true nature? Your haven is just as you left it hours ago. Although the sun won't come up for some time, you feel tired. You learned something about yourself today, and it'll take some time to process. You're not in the mood for television, and the few books on the shelves in the apartment are either in languages you don't speak or sound like a boring read. Nothing left to do but rest. You settle in the back room, lock a door. A moment of hesitation, but then a decision. This time you turn the lights off. You think back to Julie. How many people in the city know about this vampiric society? How many are willing accomplices in sustaining it? And the thug you met in the park. If he's not with Camarilla, then what is he? Are there independent vampires? How does that work? More questions. You begin wondering if there's ever going to be a night when you can start crossing them off the list instead of adding to it. You close your eyes. You sink into the now familiar void of nothingness. It greets you with open arms, like an old friend. That was a much shorter day. Gotta stay hydrated. Hydrated. You open your eyes. It's pitch dark here, the blackness of a coffin drifting in the abyss. Oh, right, a light. You grasp for the switch, flip it. A familiar cramped room with a steel door and no windows come into view. You emerge from a bedroom fully awake, just like yesterday. This time, however, Sophie is waiting for you. Comfortably seated on the sofa in your living room space, a book in her hand, The Melancholy of Resistance, a title sure on the brand. Good evening, Joe. Good evening, Sophie. How did you get inside? Sorry to have kept you waiting. I don't want to be a kiss ass. Let's go with that. Good evening, Sophie. I hope you rested well. Tonight will be quite eventful, I think. Come, we have an appointment. I received word Elysium would be called again tonight on account of your unruly friend from the Corona Park. This could be a great opportunity for you to mingle. She keeps talking as you walk downstairs and get in the car. Gregor gives you a slight nod and a small smile while opening the doors for Sophie. He starts the car when you take your seat in the back. Most of the Primogen Council is bound to be there, at least those who usually attend. Probably some other important personality you do well to at least learn about. Who should I talk to? How should I carry myself even inside? More politics? Great. I don't know. Last time you talked politics, you were very entranced by that, Mr. Joe. Yeah, I was really surprised by that. In any case, who should I talk to? Well, I think this would be the smartest question. Anyone I should talk to when we arrive? Not especially. My advice would be to try to talk to the prince and perhaps reassure her of your gratefulness for being spared. Maybe speak to Kadir on the same topic if you get a hold of him. Okay, I don't care about Prince, but Kadir seems like a cool guy. If I were to do another playthrough, I would really stick with Kadir. Like, dude, I like you. You seem like an asshole who is just doing his job, but you might have a heart of gold behind that. The Primogen I would advise against. They are rather stuck up, all told, and even if they will talk to you, they might try to secure you for some nefarious purpose. I wouldn't appreciate that. Of course, be respectful if anybody approaches you and strikes up a conversation. You will no doubt be gossiped about, as will I. Keep a cool head, summon your broken fledglings into stupid acts. At any rate, you could behave yourself tonight. Remember what I told you about reflecting on me as your patron. I have a reputation to uphold in the court. Do not tarnish it. There it is. She might have saved you, but she might be protecting and teaching you. But it's still clear what she is really concerned about, her own interests. You step into the art hall with something of a bad memory. The last time you were here, the entire world has been turned upside down and your existence nearly ended. But tonight, there's very little outward hostility. Yes, Kadir gives you a look, but definitely is intended to remind you of your place, but the prince, also in attendance, seems pleased to see you. Welcome, Sophie. Joe, did I get that right? Good evening to both of you. I understand there is somebody else you wish to present to the court tonight. Yes, Prince, they will be joining us shortly. My assistant is retrieving them presently. That's better be worth the prince's time, Langley. The prince gives Kadir a cold glance. Forgive the sheriff's harshness. He is in a particularly foul mood tonight. Something to do with Joe's begetter eluding his grasp, I believe. Ouch, that must have hurt his ego, even if his only reply is a crooked smile. The mention of your sire makes you come back to all the talk of SQ and societal norms and disillusionment with the status quo you enjoyed back in the club. Look at you now, behaved, agreeable. She likely won't be too happy with this whole setup. Prince, court, hierarchy, titles. But hey, she's gone. Probably forever. If you ever break out of this, it'll be on your own. The flaring up of whispers in the gallery hall breaks you out of your thoughts. Gregory enters the room, with jumpsuit-clad, inert vampire still staked on his shoulder. The show's about to start. Sophie's driver places his charge in the middle of the room and nods respectfully to Kadir. Sheriff approaches the vampire and removes the stake from his chest. The captive's eyes flicker to life, and he starts looking around in disbelief. Like a cornered animal, he backs out on all fours, keeps going in circles until he realizes he's trapped. Kadir steps on the man's chest and pins him to the floor. Why, what do we have here?
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. No, come on. No.
Silence. Sheriff takes on an aura of the utter dread. He appears as if he's a primal force of nature what's out to get you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do but shrivel in terror. The beast inside you shrieks, and you could swear it happens in unison with the instincts of some of the other guests here tonight. It's unlike anything you've experienced in his company during your turbulent first night as a vampire. He really did go easy on you, all things considered. It seems like it takes all the hoodlum's willpower not to crawl into a fetal position and start crying.
No, please don't hurt me, man. Don't.
You and me are going to have a little talk downstairs at the prince's discretion. Please, go ahead, my sheriff. You heard the prince. Get up. Let's go. He doesn't wait for a confirmation, he just grabs the man and drags him, kicking and screaming, out of the room. Conversations start all around you, some whispered, some quite avert. Sophie looks somewhat bored of the whole affair, her eyes wandering from the art piece to art piece, clearly finding nothing to her particular liking. Okay, just wanted to check if I'm still recording. I almost lost the last recording, it was really unfortunate. Thankfully I salvaged it. Torture in an art gallery, look at your mansion his own. What happens now? What happens now? So, what happens now? It'll be at least some minutes before Kadir gets the information he seeks out of this fog. Why not mingle while we wait for him to break? Excuse me. Sophie leaves your side and goes to the corner of a gallery where a group of kindred, some seemingly pretty old-fashioned, gathered. The concierge offers you a drink, still warm. It smells nice. Just a sip to start you off. A splash over your palate, coating your tongue and the inside of your cheeks. Nourishment. You're left to your own devices. You have a quick look around. The prince is currently talking to a dark-skinned woman what you recall seeing here those few nights ago. She has a cold but a noble countenance to her. Her conversation seems to be casual. A loud shrill laugh turns your attention to this bespectacled man who you saw with Sophie on the night of your judgment. He's making rounds, chatting up with different patrons. You feel somebody's eyes on you. A casually dressed, plain-looking man stands alone near a column, watching you. He turns his gaze away sheepishly when he realizes you've noticed. Well, I would definitely not want to talk to a prince. It would be the most anti-bruja move I could do. Man with the glasses would probably be someone like Strauss, and I don't think I want to interact with anybody like that. But the man looking at me seems intriguing. There's something about this guy. It's not what he's staring at you, most everybody in this room has, at one point or another. It's how he does it. He seems shy, maybe even afraid. It's hard to find a secluded spot in the gallery tonight, but this guy has an entire corner of the room all to himself. He's standing alone, no glass in hand, just a look of worry as you approach. Oh, please be well, Kevin. Good evening, mister. Something wrong? Ron? So, care to tell me what's so interesting about me, what you've been looking at me since I came in? Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. Just Seeing how you're doing, you're still in one piece. That's good. I'm glad. My name's Larson, or you can call me Robert. Either is fine. What's your own accord? Why are you standing alone like this? So, who are you? You mean like generally? Same as you, vampire. Though I might not quite look like it. I'm one of the Princess Panhardt's primogen. I'm here on business, in case the princess requires my insight. Usually it's so she can hear me out before she ignores me. Not sure if you were paying attention the other night, but when the princess mentioned divergent opinions on whenever you should be executed or not, that was me. I was divergent opinion. Well, thank you. What was your reasoning? And you were ignored. That'll be a dick move. I mean, he did stick out for you, so I think that's a good thing to say. But I'm curious why. Not that I'm ungrateful, but out of curiosity, what was your reasoning? My reasoning? Just common sense. But you shouldn't be blamed for being assaulted and essentially murdered to boot. But as Kadir loves to say, the traditions are clear. Listen, I don't want to be rude, and I appreciate you reaching out, but word of advice? Stay away from me. Many vampires in the sect regard my position as primogen to be kind of a joke, you know. You'll talk to me, they'll notice, and I'll hold it against you. Have a quick look around you and see what a few of kindreds keep shooting you curious glances. One woman especially, a redhead, boasting a fanciful hairstyle, watches you disapprovingly. Some of them already do, I imagine. Excuse me, I need to try to get a word in with a few primogen members before Kadir returns. Enjoy your night. With just the critical looks of a few kindred to keep you company, you start thinking about who to pursue next. I'm really curious what clan is here. You notice Sophie mingling with our kindred, clearing her element and not to be disturbed. Kadir hasn't come back yet, so you can probably still find time for at least one conversation. Well, the choice is clear. No one notices your intention, but it takes a few minutes before he pauses. He's mingling for long enough to actually approach him. He looks at you quizzically. It's almost Arturo. Is that your name? I assume you'd like to know. I know you. By name only, of course, Joe. You embraced just a few nights ago, huh? Well. How's Undeath treating you? I'm coping, beginning to like it. I'm miserable, to be honest. I'm coping. Takes some getting used to, for sure. Oh, it sure does. Good thing we have an eternity to make the best of it, right? He takes a moment to clean his glasses, ignoring you completely until he's done and puts them back on. I'm sorry I got a bit distracted. You know most of us don't need to wear these, right? I can see just fine without them, but it's a statement. But then things keep catching specks of dust and other sorted shit, though. Never stay clean for long. Sometimes I think it's more trouble than it's worth, wouldn't you say? If it's a pain, why wear them? They look good on you. You like it when things are clean. That's just a dumb thing to say. If it's a pain, why wear them? I'd say if it's a pain to wear them and you don't need them, why do it? Like I said, it's a statement. Inconvenience is no excuse to stop pursuing perfection. What else is there, really? Alright, that was a nice chat, but I have to catch up with a few other fellows tonight. Talk to you later. Jeannie? Hey, Jeannie! He doesn't even give you a chance to say goodbye. He's already off, grabbing 2 glasses of a concierge tray and handed one to a mustached man nearby. A loud exchange near the staircase grabs everybody's attention. Kadir's back and the hoodlum is with him. The sheriff pushes his unfortunate victim inside the room. The vampire that threatened you last night is a mess. That stupid hat, still inexplicably on his head, covering some of his ruined face in a welcome shadow. He's barely conscious. His chin is broken, you think, something protruding there, making a bulge in the pant leg. One arm seems twisted at a strange angle. Very little blood, surprisingly, but clearly a whole lot of hurt. Well, Kadir, did our guest cooperate? To opens your name. It's Howard. It's Howard. And who do you run with, Howard? It's the Midnighters. And under Courtier, my prince. Active for some time now. Well, from what this one told me, the name is about the only legacy the group kept over the years. I see. Hey, Prince, I didn't mean it. I didn't know. I didn't. Loud crack has some of the guests audibly gasp as Kadir's slap dislocates the man's jaw. A spray of blood creates something like an abstract art piece on the floor. As long as guilty of threatening a member of a Camarilla and claiming a domain without the prince's approval. That would be enough to pass with judgment, but he is also an ex-scum. My prince?
There can only be one verdict. Final death. Do your duty, Sheriff. Unless, of course, somebody would like to play at being a good Samaritan like our dear Miss Langley a few nights ago.
The look of Prince serves you and Sophie is a cruel jest. Sophie takes it gracefully, smiling and slipping her arm into yours, a strange public show of affection. Nobody says anything. The vampire named Howard jumps to his feet and makes for the window. That is an interesting choice. Kadir clearly has a handle on things, so catching him won't really do anything to prevent him from escaping. But it might earn me brownie points with Camarilla. Also, the whole violence and kicking ass is pretty much a very anarch thing. In addition, it will train me to use my powers more, so I think this might actually be a good choice. In a split second you make your choice. Focusing your blood, you dash forward and grab Howard by the back of his jumpsuit, pulling him away from the window. You expect some resistance, but find you don't have to worry about it when a swift cut separates Howard's head from his body. You let go, and the headless corpse slumps to the ground. Kadir is standing between you and the window, his sword drawn and an ugly smile on his face.
Well, Joe, your eagerness is laudable, if unnecessary. That Howard fellow couldn't have hoped to escape his fate, not with Kadir's expertise. However, I have made note of this show of loyalty on both your and your patron's accounts. I would like to thank Miss Langley for bringing this thug to mine and Kadir's attention. I assume all have found the verdict satisfactory.
Goddamn, I kinda wanna play not Anarch anymore. I don't like them, I never liked them. They are just better for an action game. That much is clear. It's a rhetorical question, everybody here knows it.
When I consider tonight's meeting concluded, good night to you all.
She steps out of the room and you see what many of the guests motion to do the same. Sophie seems to be conversing with somebody, a serious-looking man in a trench coat, but what transpired? You probably have the time to strike up a conversation of your own too. Kadir Al-Asmai is still here, but clearly getting ready to leave for one. Both Larson and Arturo seems to have stayed around too. One is still moping around, the other still chatting with the remaining attendants, as if nothing happened in the meantime. Well, talking to Kadir would be too good to do. Like, I pissed him off, I don't think it's a good idea to talk to him again. Like, I would talk to him if I didn't do that in the beginning. Robert Larson, I think, would be my choice. Now the gallery is empty and you hope Larson will be less eager to excuse himself out of talking to you. He takes a few steps toward the stairs, clearly ready to leave, when you approach him.
Hey, can't stay awake, can you?
What are your thoughts on the trial? Why didn't the prince consult you? Sorry about us for the night. Hey, what you doing tonight? Are you gonna be lonely? Let's go with that. When I was put on trial, the prince consulted the Primogen. Why didn't she do it tonight? I don't know, she was in a hurry maybe, didn't feel like talking. The prince doesn't have to consult on every decision. The ivory tower is a hierarchy, not a democracy. It's obvious he's angry and disappointed. Some color shows in his face, not a common sight among vampires. He takes a deep breath, a force of habit you share, and continues. To be fair, by Camarilla standards, the case was pretty cut and dry. It's like that when you're an anarch. You get caught red-handed, you're in a world of trouble. Don't take us the wrong way, but I'm kind of disappointed with you. You keep your reasoning to yourself, but I gotta say, jumping on vacation to hurt that guy, it's kinda cold. He threatened me. That is why I did it. Let's go with that. It's clear what he regrets bringing it up, and even more uncomfortable now what he did. Listen, it was nice talking to you, but I gotta go. Enjoy your night and all that. With just a single look at the rest of the thinning crowd, he leaves the gallery. It's right about when Sophie also ends her conversation and walks over to you. Interesting evening, wasn't it? Come, Gregory's waiting downstairs. She seems preoccupied with something, and not in a talkative mood. It's an awkward ride back to the city. This time you arrive at another building, just 2 streets across from your apartment. She brings you upstairs, though, through a very nice lobby and a luxurious-looking hall into her domain. Please, have a seat. I shall be right with you. You take in your surroundings. The apartment is like a gallery, an old-school smoking room, what you've seen in some period piece once, and a nouveau riche living room, meticulously put together. I just want to take a single look around it. God damn, everything's so gorgeous. Apologies, old habits die hard. Clearly some stick with you even after your death. She drags on a cigarette, breathes out. Breathes? How's she doing that? Can you do that? Oh yes, you might not know. It takes some practice, but you can keep smoking if you'd like. How are things too? Experiment, you might surprise yourself. But I did not bring you here to show off. This is where I rest these nights. Red door in the back, the bedroom. Similar to yours. I have servants and bodyguards in addition, of course. Of course. I brought you here because I need you to trust me. When I told you before what I needed your base behavior to uphold my good standing with the court, I meant it. But that's not the whole story. I have your interest in mind too, that's why I've given you your haven. Why I'm trying to teach you how to navigate this new reality. But you need to trust me, or else this won't work out. You can come here whenever you feel like asking me something. When you're in trouble too, though I hope that won't happen often. I would ask that you come here when you wake up tomorrow. I'll have something to discuss with you. Trust needs to be earned. I don't know, but I think she very much earned it. She is shady. She definitely wants you to do something which might be too dangerous to handle herself. But I do believe she earned the trust. Why not discuss it right now? Why not talk right now since we're together?
I still need to follow up a few things before we speak. Patience, fledgling.
That silence again. There's definitely something on Sophie's mind tonight, but she doesn't seem eager to share it with you just yet.
I'm leaving for another visit. Come downstairs with me. I'll give you a lift.
A quick trip, some polite goodbyes, and a promise that you'll show up tomorrow later. You open the door to your haven and gather your thoughts. It's exciting in a way, being dragged deeper and deeper into this secret society and its rules. Whatever Sophie has planned for you, it's bound to teach you more about this thing you've become. You sink into your vampiric sleep with just a sliver of hope. It's a welcome change.